want to talk about the number one mistake that I keep seeing with artists who are using BMI and ASCAP. Now, is the number one mistake that you are registering your release after you release the actual song? Is the mistake that you are not getting a publisher to collect the publishing side of your publishing? You're actually going to be surprised, but this is so unbelievably important. Subscribe right now and let's jump into it. So what is ASCAP and BMI? These are performance rights organizations here in the United States. Now, there's actually 6, and then if you're in a different country, there's going to be a different one in your country. So we're talking about PROs in general, and this all applies to you. Now, PROs collect your performance royalties. It's one type of royalty. There's multiple types of music royalties that apply that you get to collect. So we're specifically talking about performance royalties, but one of the things that we do on this channel is that we follow what's going on with the government, and it looks like there may be a whole new type of royalty, a whole new way for you to get paid. So that's another reason why subscribe right now, and we'll let you know if and when that comes down. But here are the common mistakes. I'm going to go in reverse order leading up to the number one. So starting with number 7, it's that the timing is totally messed up of when you go to register your music. You pick a platform. It can be ASCAP or BMI. So let's say you're going with BMI. If you wait till 3 years after your music has already been released, once you register, you can collect the royalties from that point forward. You don't get your retroactive, you don't get your royalties that came before. So the biggest mistake, or at least number 7 that's being made, is that you are missing royalties because you're waiting too long to go and register. Number 6 is you're trying to upload audio files. So when you go to register on your PRO, they need information, the metadata. They need the name of the song, they need how long is the song, who are the authors, who created the music, but they do not need the actual audio file. Mistake number 5 has to do with you music producers. Okay, so the question usually is, I'm a music producer, I make a ton of beats. Do I need to go and actually register my beats with my PRO? Now, it depends. The answer is typically no. If these are draft beats, if you are going to go and try to get a singer to come and do a top line, meaning if they're not done. The idea of going and registering your music to collect royalties is that these are the final versions. And so if you are a beat maker, typically you're not going to register. But if you're also someone who makes prolific instrumental music and that is your entire vibe, you do want to go and register. So understand the nuance there. Generally, if you have draft music, no, you're not going to go and register it. You kind of wait until you have the final thing. Number 4 of the biggest mistakes is that if you have an album, people get confused as they're trying to register the music. Do you register the whole album all at once? The answer is no. You do it one song at a time. Okay, so if you have 10 songs, 12 songs, whatever, you're still going to do it one at a time, because every time you release a song, and you'll see this with your music distributor, they assign you an ISRC number for each separate song. It's because each song is its own little piece of intellectual property that's going to be tracked and it's going to earn streams and royalties. Okay, so that's the way that your PRO, so in this case BMI, is going to collect it as well. So the answer is, with the album, you register one song at a time. Number 3, you are not disclosing samples. Now let's clarify this. If you're using loops, right, you purchased, a sample pack, do you need to say that you have samples in all of the songs that you created? Well, no, not in that situation. Let's be clear. If you go out and you're like, hey, Cameo, I'm going to sample your vocals, and we do a deal and we get a license agreement, that would be an example of a song that has a sample in it. So you do want to say, yes, I have a sample in the song. If it's not that kind of scenario, you typically are not going to say you have samples in your music. It's always going to be an option on every registration that you do. If you're finding this helpful, give this video a big thumbs up. That brings us to the second biggest mistake when it comes to registering your music with ASCAP or BMI or any other PRO. There's confusion about whether you need a publisher. And so sometimes people won't even go and actually register their music because they're like, I don't have a publisher to collect my publishing. Great news. You don't need a publisher, and you don't need to set up a publishing company for yourself. The way it works is that if you go on these platforms and say, there is no publisher, I am collecting all of the publishing, you get to do that. Okay, so if you are just a writer on the platform that you're using, on the PRO that you're using, you get to collect the writer's share of publishing as well as the publisher's share of publishing. So let me give this as an example. If you're on ASCAP, the way it does the entire publishing pie, it's 100%. And so you say, I'm I'm collecting 100% both sides. On BMI, for some reason, they decided to be cute about it and they tally on a 200% basis. So they go, there's 100% for the writer's share and there's 100% for the publisher's share. It makes 200. So guess what? You're going to collect 200% of each of your songs. Okay. You see why this is a big deal? We're finally at it. And this is what inspired this entire video and why I did this, because as an actual lawyer, I'm doing consultations, I'm meeting with my clients all the time, and this has come up so many times the last couple of weeks. So this is the awful ASCAP/BMI protects my rights myth. So what do I mean by this? People get confused and they think that by registering your music on BMI or ASCAP, you are getting copyright protection. You are not. These are two different things. BMI and ASCAP allow you to collect royalties, right? Your performance royalties. Copyright protection is through the Copyright Office, which is a website, copyright.gov. Two entirely different things. So one's actually helping you to collect money. The other is going to give you legal or additional legal rights to go to court, to call me up and say, Krystle, we need to sue, to be able to seek attorney's fees, to seek statutory damages, so meaning big chunks of damages for you. You don't get those things unless you have a copyright registration. So this is why this drove this for me, because everyone needs to have their music registered with a PRO. Period. But the step above that is that you also need to have copyright registrations for your music. You can still go and get it if you don't have it right now. And you can still go and get it and then sue and all those things. But the timing can make a big difference. So why is this number one mistake so dangerous? It's so dangerous because sometimes when you get infringed, when someone steals your stuff, it's too late and you have limited options at that time. It gets very expensive. The perfect example has to do with the indie AI lawsuit that we have filed. So these class action lawsuits, which PS, if you're an independent artist and you had your music on music platforms the last couple of years, these companies have admitted to training on likely your music. So you should be a part of the class action lawsuit. Either way, I hope you found this video helpful. See you on the next one. I'm Top Music Attorney.